what you can do, especially when you're in an extreme area like over in Bishop and the Owens Valley and a few other areas here on in California where there's virtually no detectable selenium uptake in the plants. So we have a tool, we'll talk about that more in a moment, a selenium yeast that has the highest bioavailability of selenium on the market today. We can add that in, and guess what? Our selenium deficiencies are covered now within the regulatory levels, and everybody's happy and it's a win-win. Same with copper, and Luis will talk about that in a moment too. When we talk about economics of supplementing, and what I'm going to talk about specific tonight is two different concepts of supplementing: liquid supplement, like we manufacture, and dry minerals. Everything else, I'm not going to go there because I'm not involved other than with competition. But a little history on economics of supplementing on this slide here is, and this was from 2009, 10, and 11. So the last, and 8, 2. So the last 4 years, kind of a window of where we were with supplementation costs for comparisons. In 2008, we had almost an identical situation, in some cases a little worse in 2008 than we are in 2012, with the exception of corn prices. But we had all-time high molasses prices and so on, and it cost on a 120-day average, again, this was an average, 120 days is our average number. It costs around $44 per cow. That's your investment for your insurance policy on supplement for that season if you use FOSPRO. Okay. Also back then, remember, we had hedge funds getting in the commodities markets. We had unbelievable prices. We had, like I said, molasses was through the roof, and fuels through the roof, and insurance was through the roof. I mean, everything was black gold. And yet we survived. Somehow we survived. 2009 got a little bit better. Things began to soften. We lowered that cost by $8 to $36 investment. 2010 was about a $35 and back to $36 last year. So that's kind of a nutshell. You can see the little trend of where we come from in supplementing cows. Our projected cost for this season is and again, an incredible market. Phil will tie into more of that in a moment. And one thing I want to preface before I go into the detail of this is when you start talking to folks like Natalie and Nathan about supplements, you start talking cost per ton. Well, cost per ton is partly relevant, but it's not the whole picture. So when you start talking cost per ton, it's really not all it's cracked up to be. Because what the bottom line is what they consume and what the real cost is per head per day and for that season. That's the real cost. That's what you're going to write the check to pay. And so having said that, you look at block tubs. I use the block, I'm old school, and back in the 70s we called them blocks, and today we call them tubs, 250-pound tubs. A cooked tub, and these are a good form of supplement. I have no knocks for them except for economics. At today's market, and I did make calls, and I know what the price of these are going for in the market right now. You're looking at about a 60 cents per head per day cost on a cow unit, at about a $72 projected cost for this season alone on 120 days. Dry bag minerals, this one I used in here is one with a good high quality protein in it, all natural protein, a good mineral pack. It has Dr. Luis's Beta-4 in there. So this is a Cadillac product that I use for comparison. It's about 40 cents per head per day, so about a $48 investment. So you can see there's substantial savings to get the same job done here. You look at a liquid supplement like the FOSPRO, you're looking at about 34 to 35 cents per head per day. So, you know, about a $42, $43 investment is what we're projecting for this year. Not quite exactly where it was here, but, you know, pretty dang close. And then if you use the old standard, which, you know, old school again, the old standard used to be the supplement was alfalfa hay or oat hay or some type of hay. You're looking at today's market, and this is before hay. I understand hay's going to start to strengthen again. You know, if you got some good dry stock hay laid in at $200, you're looking at about a 40 cent per head per day, so about a $80 season investment is what that would cost. So this is real world here. We're talking efficiencies, we're talking real apples to apples here on what your investment is going to look like. I like to use this term toolbox. We have some information up here with some of the toolbox tools that we have. These are what I call value-added additives that we can put into some of our formulas, our FOSPRO liquid. And I have to say, a lot of these are available in the dry minerals too. So there is some cross